Sports betting is simply the act of risking money on the outcome of a sporting event or any aspect of a sporting event. The goal is to turn a profit. Sports betting includes wagers on the moneyline, spread, over-under, parlays, props, and futures. Multiple factors determine how much money sports bettors can win. The amount of money wagered, risked, the online betting site a bettor uses. The odds established by sportsbooks in legal sports betting states. Sports bettors and sports fans are similar. Both are usually emotionally invested in the outcomes of sporting events. The difference: sports bettors are also financially invested in those outcomes. The most common way to bet on sports is through an online sportsbook. Online, or mobile, wagering allows you to establish and fund betting accounts and make wagers with a couple of clicks on a computer or mobile device. Because of its convenience and associated promotions, online wagering dominates the sports betting market in the states that legalized the practice. Some states see more than 95% of sports betting volume via the internet. Mobile sports betting has exploded since the landmark U.S. Supreme Court ruling in 2018, which gave states the right to legalize and regulate the commercial activity. Many of the best online sportsbooks operate in most states' betting markets. This has been to the advantage of sports enthusiasts who can open betting accounts with multiple online books and shop around for the best odds and promotions. All online sportsbooks accept wagers on major sports: football, baseball, basketball, hockey, golf, tennis, and combat sports. However, some have limited options for niche sports and events. For sports betting, and gambling in general, everything revolves around the odds. If you're new to betting, the odds essentially give you the probability of an outcome expressed as a price. However, the odds don't reflect the real-life probability. The top US-based sportsbooks provide American odds, which use positive, plus, odds to show how much you could win with each successful $100 bet, and negative, odds to indicate how much you have to bet to win $100. For example, if the Buffalo Bills have plus 700 odds to win the Super Bowl, a $100 bet would win $700 if they capture the title. Conversely, taking the New York Yankees at minus 150 odds to beat the Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series means you need to bet $150 to win $100. In both cases, a winning bet also sees the bettor's initial stake returned, whereas if the bet loses, the patron loses that initial stake. Positive and negative odds scale with your bet amount. In other words, you don't have to bet $100 or more. If you bet $20 on the Bills to win the Super Bowl, you could win $140. Since the odds are plus 700, your $20 wager is multiplied by 7. If you wanted to win $20 on the Yankees bet, you would have to wager $30. Because the odds are minus 150, your $20 wager is multiplied by 1.5. Odds with a negative symbol indicate the favorite, which is the side that sportsbooks believe is more likely to win, assuming positive odds, known as the underdog, are involved on the other side. Example: Golden State Warriors minus 220 to defeat the Houston Rockets plus 190 indicates that the Warriors are the favorite in this matchup, while Houston is the underdog. If multiple teams' players have a pre-plus preceding the number, the smaller number denotes the favorite, while the larger is the underdog. Example: in soccer, the odds to win the 2022 Men's World Cup showed Brazil plus 350, France plus 500, England plus 550, Argentina and Germany both plus 600, and so on. Brazil had the lowest number was considered the favorite. If multiple teams, players, have a in front of the odds, the bigger number is the favorite. Example: in baseball, the Atlanta Braves are minus 150 to win the National League East Division, while the New York Mets are minus 120. Because the Braves have the bigger number, they're favored to win the division. Sports bet types moneyline. A straight bet is the most common type of sports wager. It's simply wagering on the result of a single outcome. Example 1. The Toronto Raptors are playing the Boston Celtics in an NBA game. You think the Raptors will defeat Boston, so you make a straight bet on Toronto. Example 2. UFC heavyweight. Francis Ngannou is fighting challenger Cyril Gane. You believe Ngannou will win the bout, so you make a straight bet on him. Spread bets are related to margin of victory. A spread bet involves either giving away or taking a certain number of points, goals, runs, and so on. That number is determined by the sportsbook and reflects the expected victory margin. Bettors choose whether they're going to take the spread, which means betting the underdog, or give the spread, betting the favorite. Example, Dallas Cowboys minus 5.5 versus Philadelphia Eagles plus 5.5. If you think the Cowboys will win by at least 6 points, you would give or lay 5.5 points. If you like Jalen Hurts and the Eagles' chances to win the game or lose by 5 points or fewer, you would take the 5.5 points. Point spread lines have odds attached to them, and more often than not, those odds are minus 110 for both teams. The price includes the vig. As explained above, that means if you want to bet either the Cowboys minus 5.5 points or Eagles plus 5 points, you would have to wager $110 for a chance to win $100 or $11 to win $10. Totals. Also referred to as over-under betting, totals bets focus on the final score of a game rather than who wins. When betting a total, you predict if the two sides will combine for more, over or fewer, under runs, goals, points, and so on, than the total amount posted by oddsmakers. Example, a Los Angeles Rams-Seattle Seahawks matchup has a total of 42.5. If you think the Rams and Seahawks will combine for at least 43 points by the end of the game, you would bet the over. If you expect a defensive slugfest that ends with 42 combined points or fewer, you would wager on the under. Futures. Rather than wagering on a game taking place today or this week, futures bets are just that, bets that will be decided in the future. Examples include betting on a team to win the World Series, a country to win soccer's World Cup, a golfer to win next year's Masters golf tournament, a player to win NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Futures bets tend to offer greater odds, and thus larger potential payouts than straight bets. For example, it's generally less likely to predict the Stanley Cup winner at the start of an NHL campaign than predicting which team will win a random regular season game. Props. While other markets focus on the final outcome of a game or event, prop bets relate to an individual athlete's performance, or even something that doesn't show up in the box score. One example of a player prop would be betting on Joe Burrow's total touchdown passes in a game, over or under 1.5 TD passes. An example of a prop bet that has nothing to do with the actual action on the field or court would be betting the color of Gatorade that douses the coach of the Super Bowl winning team. Here are some of the more popular forms of prop bets. Player prop relates to a single player's performance, such as total number of points scored in a basketball game, goals in a hockey game, or rushing yards in a football game. Game prop relates to a single game, such as choosing which player will hit the first home run in an MLB game or which team will finish with more passing yards in a football game. Novelty prop. Usually reserved for big events, namely the Super Bowl, novelty props can range from the length of the national anthem to the first song that the halftime artist will perform. Parlays. A parlay combines two or more straight wagers into one bet. Parlays are popular because they open the door to win bigger payouts while risking less money. Think of it as sports betting's version of a lottery ticket. The legs of a multi-game parlay don't have to be from the same sport. A third parlay type is called a teaser bet, which is most popular in football, particularly the NFL. Like a parlay, a teaser is constructed with two or more teams. The main differences: only point spread bets can be included in teasers, and bettors can shift the point spread by a certain number of points in any direction. Here's an example of a 4-team 6-point NFL teaser. Pittsburgh Steelers, minus 4.5, versus Cleveland Browns Miami Dolphins, minus 2.5, versus New York Jets Arizona Cardinals, plus 7.5, versus Los Angeles Rams Las Vegas Raiders, plus 3.5, versus Denver Broncos. If you put the Steelers, Dolphins, Cardinals, and Raiders in your teaser, you would be able to move the point spread 6 points in your favor. So teaser point spreads would be Pittsburgh Steelers, plus 2.5, versus Cleveland Browns Miami Dolphins, plus 3.5, versus New York Jets Arizona Cardinals, plus 13, 5, versus Los Angeles Rams Las Vegas Raiders, plus 10, 5, versus Denver Broncos. Because bettors get to move the point spreads, the payouts on teasers are lower than parlays. Some sportsbooks are slow to adjust lines, especially props, after news about players and coaches. This is just one angle to find good bets to make.